So I got some shocking personal news, and I haven't wanted to share it with anybody yet, but I've talked to my doctors. It's settled for a while, and I think it's an important discussion to have because it has to do with mental health. So we're going to go ahead and have the discussion. And you guys are all going to be really nice about it because I'm really nervous about this. I'm not bipolar. I know no one is more shocked by this news than I am. I was misdiagnosed 10 years ago. And it turns out that I probably have major depression disorder, ADHD, and PTSD. And let's talk about how I could possibly not know, and why this matters to get this news and why it absolutely doesn't matter at all. First off, how could I not know? Symptoms overlap in mental health, like a drastic amount. And it's really, really hard to figure out, okay, am I experiencing anxiety because I have anxiety, or am I experiencing anxiety because I actually have ADHD and my ADHD symptoms are causing me to have anxiety? Am I depressed, or am I experiencing depression because I have anxiety? It's really hard to filter all of those things out. And one of the reasons why we landed on bipolar is because I was so depressed all of the time. That was my baseline, that I didn't even know that depression was my baseline. So then when I went to normal, I thought that that was hypomania. And then you put on top of that I have ADHD. And then on top of that I'm just, turns out, kind of this loud, obnoxious, talking fast person. Hypomania. That's what we all thought it was. It wasn't. And we know that now because I've been in remission from depression for 10 months now. And every single day I've thought, oh my gosh, I'm hypomanic. Oh my gosh, what am I going to do? This is dangerous. This is not in a good place to be. And for 10 months, I've been fine. It just turns out that I'm loud, annoying, and have ADHD. So why this doesn't matter? It doesn't matter because a diagnosis is meant as a tool. It's meant to help comfort you, give you validation, and to help you figure out the best care that you need, right? You have all of these like symptoms and treatments and medications that you could be taking to help your diagnosis. And so what a diagnosis does is it says, oh, there's all of these possibilities for you. You know what? It turns out you're depressed, and it turns out that all of just these little things could be most helpful. So we're going to start there. Oh, you're bipolar? We're going to take all of these. Right? It's not meant to put you in a box. It's meant to help you find treatment. And it turns out at this point, we have found the treatment that is best for me. So it doesn't matter if we're labeling it depression, if we're labeling it bipolar, we found the treatment, and it's not going to change anything moving forward now. It also doesn't matter because the coping mechanisms that I have come up with to help my hypomania actually were helping my ADHD symptoms. It wasn't wrong. It wasn't incorrect. It was absolutely right. And it just turns out that ADHD symptoms and hypomania symptoms are very similar. Now, why does it matter to get this new diagnosis? One, it matters because I now understand why mood stabilizers and antipsychotics never worked on me. And we know moving forward that I should never try those again. It also matters, and this is for me personally, in a big way, my identity. Because my entire life, I have been made to feel that me being loud and obnoxious and talking fast was a bad thing, that it was a harmful thing, that it was something to be scared of and something that was wrong with me. And it turns out that it's not. It's just part of who I am. And who I am is pretty fucking awesome. And I can embrace that now instead of being nervous and scared about it. And of course, it also matters with how I show up here, of how I'm talking about my experience. And I hope you know that in no way was I ever trying to mislead anybody or give any information that I didn't actually believe myself. And that even though I was following these rules for hypomania and being bipolar, those things, they're still applicable. If you found them helpful, as I found them helpful, that doesn't mean that they're wrong or they're not going to work. And this is why I've always stressed I'm not a mental health care professional. I'm here just sharing my experience with the world in hopes that it can be helpful to you. I hope that it has been. I hope that it will continue to be. Mental health life is a wild ride, and unfortunately, this isn't an uncommon experience for people to be misdiagnosed for a long time. I hope you understand, and I hope you stick around for how we're going to move forward with this.